Hello everyone. Oh, it looks like my camera's hung again. Just 1 second, let me restart that. It looks like my camera's after hanging. Just give me one moment, I'm sorry. Just give me a quick second and I reset this. Happens almost every time. Let's try that again now. Let's see if we can get that working. There we go. Okay. So I'm not going on camera. I'm just going to show something here. So I have been printing, yesterday and today, I've been printing the part for Stardesk. Those of you who are interested in SpaceX and so on, Stardesk is a model. You can buy a little kit that goes with it, as part of it. This little kit. And Stardesk allows you to 3D print and add this kit to it to get a Starship, a model of Starship that actually vents. So I've been printing the parts, and I'm going to go through and we're going to do the assembly of the parts, see how it goes. Okay, I'm not going to try and pronounce your name, but hey, how are you? I cannot even attempt to enunciate that name. But okay, so we're going to assemble Stardesk, and these are all the parts that are part of the Stardust setup. So we have these all 3D printed. We have a few other little arms in here. I kept them in here so I wouldn't lose any of the pieces. There's still 1 or 2 small pieces I'm going to keep in here until I need them. As you can see here, I don't want to lose those yet. Hey Sergio. Surprise stream, yeah. I got the parts printed for Stardesk, and I wanted to put it together. I want to show everybody as it went together. So Stardesk, as I said, is a 3D printed piece that you 3D print most of it, and then you have a little kit that you have to buy that goes with it. That's basically a vaporizer, and it vaporizes water, and it allows you end up with a Starship that actually vents, that you can run off a USB on your desk. You can power it off a PC. You can. I'm not actually going to power it off a USB power cable, and so I think we should get started with it. And the assembly is not hard, so let's open the kit. I'll get my mouse out of the way. Computer Medic, hey, how are you? You're crazy lazy. Okay, so in the kit you get a piece of this type of stiff string, which we will use later on. You get some clear filament. Now I didn't use this. I used my own filament, and my own transparent filament. But you do get some if you don't have some. It's a clear PLA with instructions of how to use it. And I'm going to put that aside for now because I didn't use that. In the kit also you have. Let me get these out of here. There's these little wicks. We get the wick out. These 2 wicks. We only need 1, but there's 2 of them. There's a little control board that you get with it. You also get the atomizer. This actually vaporizes the water, and you get a small little LED strip. So we're going to start off with the base. The base comes with multiple slots. So there's a slot right here, a little slot right here for the LED to go into, and then there's a spot behind that where our cables will run, There's a power button and so on, and the front cover will go on here. And there's also a slot here for a PCB board. And then the cables will run out the back here, and on the back here is where we plug it in. So we're going to do that. So, and what we have is we have two pieces for a tower. We have a top cover. We have the base for the launch pad. We have the components for the booster. And then we have two pieces for the Starship, or three pieces, sorry, for Starship. We have a front cover. This is for Stargate, or Starbase, sorry. And then we have the catch 'em all arms and so on. And we have our grid fins and so on for it. And this is actually our fuel tank, our fuel array tanks for Starship. So, first things first, we have a Y splitter cable. And with the Y splitter cable, we also have a USB, and this is USB to USB micro, and this is USB micro with a splitter to two USB micros. Hey Jerry, I know you're watching the game, but I had to get this done before dinner. So enjoy your game. I know you're busy watching the game. So we're going to open this up, and I'm going to get this plugged in and plugged in underneath my desk where I have my power strip, so it's available to me. So this is now ready when I need it. So we're going to use this, and we're going to get the LED strip, and the LED strip plugs into the short end, like so. And then that goes in. There's a little slot right here that this slides into, so you need to kind of get the cable in here first of all. It slots into place right there, and the short one tucks in. The cable tucks in at the back down here, and it goes into this slot with your LED, and you just gently push it all down so it locks into place, and you just tuck the cable down at the back down here. That actually powers your LED strip. Just be careful not to bend it too much. So that's our LED strip plugged in. And we can test that quickly by plugging in the cable, and the LED strip is working. Okay. Right? Now the second cable will run along the back here. So we'll tuck that back here because we'll be using it to power the PCB board over here in a moment. Game on like 20 minutes. Okay, well then I might get it done before the game starts. So next we have to have our Starbase, our front cover, which slots in. These are like dovetailed at the ends, and there's a slot in the front, and this slots right in there. But before we do that, we want to get our clear Starbase sign, our text, and plug it in here. Then that slots in nicely in the front. So when you power that up, you get Starbase. Is that nice? Okay, so we'll get back to it in a moment. Now we also have the PCB board, and then there's an atomizer, which we'll get to in a while. I'll leave those aside for now. So once they're assembled and they're installed, the next thing we need to do is start doing a bit of assembly here. So we're going to take our water vat, which is this, and there's 3 holes in the large one in the center, and then there's a large opening on the side, which is our refueling to put water into it. So this plops right in, nice and neat in here. And then we have this, which this is our launch pad for the Starship. Now the launch pad has to go on, and you need to put in your atomizer. Now the way you put the atomizer on is you have to have the wires on top, because there's a rubber gasket around the bottom, and that comes out to a little slot right here on the side. So you can see there's a slot right there. So you put it in place, and you gently push it down. Do not push on those wires. They are very small and easily damaged. So be gentle when you're pushing it in, and making sure the wires are aligned with that hole. So get those in first, and that creates. Or the gasket came off. 1 second. push the gasket out, use this to push out the gasket again. The gasket lifted. I just need to get it lined up. So that goes in there. Gently push down evenly to get the gasket in. Make sure it's turned correctly. It does have a tendency to turn on you with a silicone gasket, so watch it. And gently push it in. Now, in the description below, for those who are on YouTube and Facebook, in the descriptions below there is a link to this kit. It is it's what's it called again? I'm after forgetting the name of it. Hey, medic, how are you? It's called Stardesk.co is the name of the site. And it's in the description. If you're on Twitch, you don't have it. It's stardesk.co. So we have that fitted in there, nice and snug, and the wires are coming out the side. And that will go on with the wires coming directly out 90 degrees here. And then we also have, once we have that in place, we need to plug in the PCB board, which is keyed. It plugs into the little white connector right here. Okay. And then this gets plugged in to the USB right here. Now, be careful one thing. This button needs to be facing forward because there's a button where I'm about to drop in here. And that button, the plastic button that I 3D printed, will actually power this. So we have that in there. And then there is a 3D printed button that we have. It needs to drop into place. And so the front of the button pops out here. Push it forward. And then our PCB board gets pushed down. There's a little little groove in the slot here, a little slot right there. And let's put that out of the way for now. And then we get this, we'll slot it right down. So now I can actually hear the button click because it's right behind that button. So that's done. Now, next is a base. This is Starship base. On the base here, I'm not sure if you can see it, there's a little L in the design right here. That points forward, just stands there. And then we put on the cover. So we get a top cover, and it goes on over here. So your water or your fuel tanks will actually go on here. You just sit in place, you don't click in place. And this slides on over the fuel tank or over the launch pad. And then one thing you have to be aware of, actually before I do that, I forgot to put the wick in place. Actually, let's test it before we get going. How about we do that? So let's get it tested first. So the wick, and I have some water here. I'm normally going to use distilled water, so you don't get hard water. I'll crop it out, Jerry. But we pour some water. We pour a little water in here. Now we can actually use this as a fuel. Put some water in there. Close it up, and we're going to give it a moment for the water to be absorbed up through the wick. The wick needs to be pushed in, the flat side of it, all the way up till it touches the base of the atomizer, like so. So it doesn't push it up all the way, but it pushes on it, touching, perfect. And we feed that in through the large hole. And let's leave it sit there for a minute to absorb some moisture up through the wick. And while that's happening, we're going to have to do a bit of work on this also. Sorry, just let me check my phone. I got a print. I had a failure during the night, so I had to reprint them all. Some of the silver parts this morning. I came down to a spaghetti mess when it didn't finish, so I finished it off this morning. So that's all plugged in, and it should be absorbing water. So let's plug it in and see what happens. So we're gonna plug in the power. She'll get it the right way around. We got power, and we turn it on. Give it a second. Still waiting for the water to come up the wick, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works. Come on, absorb, absorb. I'm waiting on the water to be absorbed up along that wick.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this fuel tank is actually the right amount of fuel. If you fill this, it's the right amount to fill the let's see if it goes. It might need a little bit more water. It takes a while for the water to be absorbed, and I probably do not have enough water in there, so I can use this as my water gauge and pour more water in there. So let the wick absorb the water. Hopefully everything is working. Turn it off again, turn it on. Come on, absorb. I'm still waiting for the water to come up through the wick. This should function as is. Just waiting. No smoke, no smoke, Jerry. Please don't wish that on me. Maybe I should have steeped the wick in some water first. It should be working by now, I'm guessing. Let's see. Intermittent off. I don't think I damaged any of the wires. It's not atomizing, guys. Let me try something. Turn it off. I'm going to try and manually take the wick out of here and soak it. Yeah, the top of the wick is still dry. That's why. So I'm going to use the fuel tank. Add some more water to it. Leave it sit there for a minute, absorb the water, and then I'll reinsert it. That will speed up the process because it needs to absorb water up through the wick. It was traveling, but not fast enough. I'll just get it to soak up the water vapor there. Okay, that's been soaking.
Parasite the movie.
Yeah, it took a while for the part. As I said, I had a failure in the print last night, but this is well soaking wet now. Again, push it all the way in. There we go. So it's venting. That's perfect. Okay, now we have a venting. That's what I needed to be sure of. Let's unplug it. And I want to make sure I'm careful with this because there's water in it. That I absorb the water before I do anything else. Sorry, I'm just getting some paper towel to soak up the water inside the tank because this is already full. Yep, got it all. Okay. Now, let's go do the rest of the assembly. Now that we have this in place, we have to stand this in place. That L pointing forward. This comes over the top. And we have to watch these wires to make sure the wire does not get in the way in the fuel tank. It gets lined up. This goes straight down beside it. And it should just click into place. Nice and snug. So with that line in front, now we have some work to do with the tower. No blue smoke, sorry. So on the tower, you have two holes underneath. We need to thread the wire, this cable through them, and we have a little hook here. We also need to thread it through. So let's get through one of these first. We put this cord through one. And it comes out in the hole here, and it comes out the back one. And then the other end needs to go through the hook. Oh, sorry. Hooks on the back end, sorry. It needs to go through this. There's two little holes in here. And it needs to thread through those. Oh, it's not straight. Hey Ben, how are you? It goes through there. And then the second one will go through the other hole back at the back here. Or on the top, sorry, feed through, and it comes out the other end. It comes out the back. And then we put this onto the hook. The hook is used to adjust this part as we see fit. So we're just going to put it through here. I'm going to tie a little reef knot or something on them. Just looking at the webpage. It's a great idea. Now I reached out to him about if they're going to do a version that would actually work with a Fab 365 version or a large version, and he's kind of said they haven't looked at doing anything like that, and I'm going to encourage them, because like you may have to do a 2-stage atomizer if you're going to do that, because you want to keep the string, by the way, as short as possible, or sorry, as long as possible. So you don't want to consume up all of the. So this is our hook attached to this, and this then gets on, slides on over here. So now I can adjust it up or down. Let me get it on there. Sorry, it's finicky. There we go. So I can now adjust it up or down, and then hook it on to stop it. Now this then attaches to the top of the tower right here. Oh no, before I do that, sorry, I almost forgot. This little catch arm actually slides in right here on top. And then this clips on over the top of that, and it all locks. Come on, into place. So now I have the movement of the arm up and down, and I can hook it on here to stop it from moving. And then I have the grab arms. Actually hooks on here. So now we have control of the lift arm. Make sure the opening is on the top of the slider. Oh, it is. The opening is on top here. Yes, that's why I managed to attach this. But yeah, good point. Now we're going to do Starship. So first things we have to do. We're going to assemble Starship first. So the part one is this piece actually slides in, and there's a little slot here that actually engages on the underside. On the underside right here, there's a slot that engages in it. And this piece just clips on to the nose. Let me take it over here. It's easier to do it when it's close to me. Oh, the silk PLA is breaking. I can glue it, but the silk PLA broke off. This is why silk PLA is a pain in the neck. I need to pry that out. Okay, I can fix that later. It just clips on. I have to pry out the silk PLA clip. Broke off because silk is notoriously weak, and I don't have I have a small flat screwdriver that will get it out of there. So I'm just prying it out. I'll attach that later on. It just slots into place anyway. So this will slide up under here, and these clip together, hopefully without breaking, because it is silk. That's better. Yep. Hopefully close all the way. You sure you? Okay. Yeah, I need to. This is not closing 100%. I don't know why. I'll have to put a bit of pressure on that. I don't want to do it right now, but I will later. I need to do it now, don't I, to get it to close. Sorry, guys. I have to put a bit of pressure under this, and I don't want to, but I have to. I'm worried about the silk PLA cracking. It won't go together. It's a bit tight. I can finish it later. But we can get it assembled anyway, right for now. And this part will clip on here. It'll clip together. I'm going to wait to put this on. Goes on like that, but this is not locking into place. It's not sliding all the way down. I'll have to look at why in a moment. And then this will attach and push straight on. There's a couple of flat areas here. So this is our grid fins. The slot right over there. And then this locks into that like so. And then all of this clips down.
That sounds standard.
I want to do. Which way do I want to put it? I want to put Starship outside. How do you think we should do it? Starship like this, or should we turn it like this? I think in reality, it's the black part facing out. So let's do that. Kept that into place. I'll fix this later on. I'll do a few tweaks until I get this attached, and I'll put a nose cone on properly when I get a chance later. I'll work on that. That stuff blocking it. The silk PLA issue, but I'll fix that later. And then we're assembled. Now all we have to do is put up our fuel tanks and power it up. Now this is going to vent from the top because I don't have the nose cone on. I'll look at that in a while because it's not. Since these are not fully together, I want to get the nose cone on properly first. Then we turn it on, and we have a venting Starship, guys. And there's two modes. So this is a continuous mode. If I turn off continuous mode, it's off for a few seconds and then it turns itself on again. Watch. Isn't that cool? Just using an atomizer that vaporizes the water, pulls up through a wick, vaporizes it, and then sends it up. Now, probably distilled water is better, especially if you live in a hard water area. But distilled water is probably the right option to use, rather than normal tap water or mineral water. So I just use mineral water. I will change that. But yeah, I like the timed one rather than the continuous. And I will put a nose cone on. Then when you put on the nose cone, it actually vents through the tops of the nose cone as well. There's two little holes here. It will vent through that. But I need to get those to close properly together. I'll do that in a moment. I do have that plastic that piece of silk PLA that broke off. But so we have. This is a cool idea, and it doesn't take long to print. On a normal printer, like a 60mm bed slinger or so, it takes about 2 days of printing. On a faster printer, you'll probably do it in a day. I did it over in a day and a half, or like I started it yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening, and I finished it off this morning because I had a failure during the night. It would have been finished this morning otherwise. But you now have a venting Starship, and if this goes on, once I get, let me try and get this out. What happened is one of these lugs here broke off, so what I can do is I can put it on and put a drop of glue on it, and it'll stick. Because the lugs that it goes into, the silk PLA gave way, and that's because it's silk PLA and it's notoriously soft, as we all know.
Okay, good.
So I'll scoop that out, or I'll break that out of the inside here. And see, I'll break that out of the inside here, and I'll mount it up. That way, then it will actually vent from the top nose cone as well. Hey, Chris, I just decided to come on for a few minutes. I know that Jerry wants to run off to a game. Just keep it away from your hydroscopic filaments. Yeah.
Yes.
It won't be anywhere near my filaments because I'm actually going to put that in my office behind my desk. So when I'm on stream and so on, it'll actually be venting behind me. So we just did a build of Starship. It's called Stardesk. It's a little kit you get, and the little kit comes with some of the little pieces you need, like a little board and a water reservoir and so on. And then you 3D print the rest of the parts, and you end up with Starship venting. Yeah, it's actually vaporized water, so it's actually putting moisture into the air is what it's doing. Hey, Abadus, how are you? Hey, Shardell. So, just to those who just came along, we did a very, 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 very fast assembly of the Stardesk. And if those who don't know what Stardesk is, it's a little kit that you buy the kit and you 3D print the parts, or they can print them for you, and you obviously you pay for it, and they will send you the kit. It's in the description below. Stardesk.ca, I believe, is the link. Is it? Is it not there? I think it's Stardesk.ca. Let me verify, but I believe it is. Stardesk.co. Sorry, Stardesk.co. And you get a kit and you 3D print the parts and you stick it together. It doesn't take long to print. And when you're finished with it, you get a Starship that's actually outgassing from as if it was venting from being fuel loaded. Now, the other nice thing about it is, if any moisture gets stuck in here and travels down, right? What happens is it'll fall in through the vents along the bottom and actually drip down back into the tray below. And secondly, if you find that it's not venting, you can take it apart, take off the Starship, and just shake out any water that might be, because you might get a water bubble clog in there. Just shake it out and then let it run without the Starship attached. And then later on, once that starts venting cleanly, then just put it back together again. And probably once a week, or maybe once every 2 weeks, you should clean it out with a small bit of vinegar and water mixed together, because the vinegar and water mixture will kill any mold that might grow in there, because it is water. A larger one for a whole house, yeah. The finger lightning, yes, it does, Shane. Yeah, especially in the dry states like here and where you are. Yeah, when it gets really cold here, it gets really, really dry. The air does. So it's kind of a cool idea, and I like the intermittent mode. You have the permanent mode as well, where you turn it off, and then you turn it back on again to full, and then it does full-time venting. So, what do you guys think? I'm not going to stay on for very long. I did ask them about doing a larger version, and they haven't thought about it. But I think it's a good idea. You might have, for a larger version, you may have to do 2 stages. Maybe use one as a reservoir up here, and have one that atomizes the lower section, and another one atomizes the upper section. So you may have to put a water reservoir in the upper area, because I don't think it'll vent that high. Not for such a small atomizer, and I think you may have to go much bigger. And it's really cool. I have to say, it is a cool idea.
Yeah.
I will take that piece out, and because it is silk PLA, and I'll just glue it on. Just be done with it. And It's kind of cool. So that's all I wanted to do. I just want to show that. A larger version would be nice. If I could do one at 100 scale of Starship and the Super Heavy, I would prefer that. And that way, then I could take it out to. I could take this as it is, but I could take it out to when I do NASA talks and so on. I could take it out, and you can actually have Starship on a desk, venting, and I'll put it into intermittent mode. So in intermittent mode, it vents and then stops, and I think it vents for 5 seconds and stops for 10. There we go. No, it vents for 10, stops for 5. Sorry. I knew it was a 10-5 mix in there somewhere. So that's it. That's all I wanted to come in and show. I put it together while we're on stream, and it's a cool setup. I will attach this piece later on because I need to clean out the inside of it. I'll have to get a razor blade and cut it out. But that's all. That's all I came on for. I mean, when I get it assembled, I'll probably do a short video on it as well. Maybe do a quick TikTok. No, I don't know because food coloring. I don't think food coloring would actually color coming out. I don't think that would work. All it would do is actually food coloring. Actually, if it did vaporize it, it would actually come out and actually come through the vapor, the layer lines on the plastic. So it would end up discoloring the rocket. So it's a cool idea, guys. I really like this. I'm gonna make sure you share this link out to others so others can see what this is. I think for the creative idea, I think more and more people need to see this. It's not expensive, and it's a cool idea, and it looks really good on your desk. It looks really good, and it'd be powered off USB from your computer, so you can have it plugged into your computer and have it running there. Or as I did, a USB. I had a USB power plug. I just ran it off that from a phone charger, an old phone charger, and it works perfectly that way also. All right, guys, that's it. Just wanted to come in and show you how that went together. It was very, very simple. So simple, even I can do it, and that says a lot. And it was a fun build. Let me bring it back here. I'll actually push it more forward for you there. There, Starbase. There we go.
Tap anywhere.
The person you can hear chatting in the background is my son. He's actually online with some of his friends. So that's it, guys. I just thought you'd find it interesting now that it's done and it's working. And I will see you Tuesday night on my Hangout. And if I don't see you before then, thank you, guys. I recorded the build process. Yeah, I recorded it all here live. So I did it live. I assembled it live, so it only took a few minutes. It takes 5 minutes to take it apart and redo it, so I can always redo it if needed. Take care, everyone. I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. Jerry, good luck in the game. And I think that's it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for a few minutes. I just thought you might find this interesting. A fun little project. A permanent attachment now in my office. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Take care.